What up, YouTube? It's me, Isaac, coming to you with another edition of my life. First one of 2026. I know I should have done one yesterday, but what the heck? I'm having a blast today on New Year's Day because here's the reason why. So, I enjoyed a day of watching crime shows with my mom. Always enjoy that. We do that quite often, in fact. We listened to a bunch of crime podcasts. I would go into detail, but YouTube guidelines and all that stuff. But what's really cool, well, from my perspective, is like I said in a few videos, I got the Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days collection, and I told you I was playing, I beat, actually, I didn't tell you which ones I beat, but I beat Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, and just now, the credits of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters 2 started rolling, which is really nice. I'm pretty sure the next game is, Yu-Gi-Oh! is, Monster Capsule, which I have been playing, but it was just a test run to see what it's like. And I know the fourth Yu-Gi-Oh game is I think it's best duelist, or I'll get to that one when I get to that one. But yeah, I can't believe I beat Duel Monsters 2 with I just started that game. Let's see. I started it at like 8 o'clock this morning, and I just beat it. I don't know how that game was as easy as it was, although the mechanics of Duel Monsters and Duel Monsters 2 are really weird. They're like the Duelist Kingdom rules, which if you know those, you know those, but I'll go over them here. You don't have to sacrifice any of your monsters. You can summon whatever monsters you want with however many stars you want, which that's actually how I ended up beating it so fast. I made my deck, and in Duel Monsters 1 and Duel Monsters 2, you can have Duel Monsters 1, you can have 10 copies of any card in your deck, which was my deck was just way too overpowered in Duel Monsters. But in Duel Monsters 2, they restricted it to 3 different copies of each card, which is how I was able to basically steamroll the game. And I mean that quite literally. It took me less than 24 hours to beat Duel Monsters 2, because I was mistaken when I said I started this morning. I actually started it around 8 o'clock last night. But I spent like 2 or 3 hours before I even took on my first duel deciding how I wanted my deck, which, if you know if you remember the original starter decks, Yugi, Joey, Kaiba, and Pegasus, you'll remember the iconic monsters of, or at least the Yugi, Joey, and Kaiba. You will know the three iconic monsters are Dark Magician, Blue Eyes White Dragon, and Red Eyes Black Dragon, which is actually how I ended up beating Duel Monsters 2, with Dark Magician, Blue Eyes, and Red Eyes on the field. The final opponent of Duel Monsters 2 is the same opponent as Duel Monsters. It's Maximilian Pegasus. And if you know how the Duelist Kingdom finals went in the anime, you will know why I decided to let my Red Eyes take the final attack. You make the final attack, which I will do a sort of it. Actually, I can do that duel analysis now. Actually, I'll do the duel analysis after I rewatch Best of Friends, Best of Duels, and then the Millennium Duel episodes. Because I have to remember everything before I actually analyze the duel. Well, duels, and then my hypothetical duel where Joey was the actual winner of the Duelist Kingdom tournament. We all know what happened in Battle City. That was complete and utter bull. And I understand why they did it, because they wanted Yugi to be the one to win. But come on, that was complete and utter bull. And I do remember hearing somewhere that if Battle City came down to Yugi v Joey, it would have ended ambiguously, meaning that Yugi, near the end of it, Yugi would summon Red Eyes, and Joey, and it would just fade to the end of the duel, and somehow Joey would have Red Eyes back. If you know what happened to Red Eyes, and I think it was episode 63. It was anywhere from 63 to episode 70. Actually, wait. Episode 70 is where Yugi battled the Rare Hunter. So it was anywhere from 63, maybe anywhere from 63 to the start of 70. Joey lost his Red Eyes, which was complete and utter bull. But I will go over that in another episode. I'm your host, Isaac Brumett. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends, leave a comment. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one. I know I sure as hell will. And have a great 2026. So far, it's been great for me. I'm your host, Isaac Brumett. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends, leave a comment. Peace out, y'all.